I'm Rian Zagelow, BrickBatDad, and I really like Batman, and I've got a lot of Batsuits now, and I was looking for a way to display them. Really, for like the last 5 years, I've been on and off just on Batsuit conveyors, which is what these are called. And you've interviewed me before on a smaller one, and this one is a true conveyor. It's got like an actual belt that they're attached to, and and the belt moves along, where the other one was kind of like more like I don't know, merry-go-round type of mechanic, where it's just a circle and it spun around. And this one's a true conveyor, so it's really been satisfying to like finally like get something kind of close to the Lego Batman movie, in terms of mechanic, which I thought 5 years ago was impossible, and now I think it's closer to possible. And so I tried to get over 100 this year just for the flex.
What is the total number now?
Thank you. Softball by me. 128. So pretty, not bad.
Very impressive.
Yeah, thank you. That's what I needed. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
I've loved seeing you kind of add to this and grow it over the years and like improve the technology of it and everything. So talk about kind of the methodology behind collecting these, putting the figures together. How does that work for you?
The suits themselves. Yeah. So I think as a lot of like people that do Lego know, there's a ton of Batman just that you can buy in sets and collect in various different ways. And it's gotten to the point where there's so many colors. There's not all of them. But now it's kind of systematic, where it's like I know all the colors of cowls, and I know pretty much all the bat suits that are standard with Lego. And then when I have an idea, I can kind of run it in my head, like, okay, because the rule is there's a couple rules. You need something to Batman. You can't just say it's Batman, throw it up on a conveyor. Like people will or it'll be cringe, right? If it's
be like recognizably Batman.
Yeah, so a cowl, that's all you need if you got a cowl, because a cowl is a strong like symbol. You really could do nothing else. So you kind of start with, can I throw a cowl on it, right? Like, and then if you can, and it like matches by color or kind of whatever, or coordinates at least, you're done. If you really don't want to do a cowl because like the helmet is crucial to the outfit, then you move on to the chest piece. What can I do with the chest piece? One of the real like kind of lame, but like I use it a lot, is the white bat sticker on some of them, and that's from a friend's, or not a friend's, but a superhero, DC Who's Superhero Girls high school, and that's like just a sticker that's just the right size that can go on the torso. So it's like, as a last resort, you just throw the sticker on it. Like that's an example of the kind of the lamest way to just make it happen.
When you've got to make it something that looks like Batman.
When you're out of ideas, throw a sticker on it. And so, and then, you got the belts in a lot of different colors. And I would say Batman's probably the easiest one to remix, right? Like of any kind of theme, because they've already done so many colors and silly things. You can just run with it, and I'm just systematically at this point going through, like, how many Star Wars ones can I do? How many Marvel is kind of untapped still, but there's Mach 47 bat, right? Like I could just do the whole thing, which I want to. So yeah, I don't know.
So you just kind of sit down with the parts you've got, and you're like, well, how can I use these to create a variant or a different version?
Yeah, and just like sitting for hours on Bricklink too, going reminding myself if I'm like, am I sure there's not a cowl in that color, right? And like the purple one for a while was a block for me, but Batgirl has a purple cowl with a hairpiece in the back, but it just pulls right out. So it's like you could just use that. And so it's like little tricks like that took me, 2 years for that trick, like to realize, oh, yeah, we do have a purple cowl, because otherwise it's just, it's super expensive. Like, yeah, there we go. But Bat Lightyear is the purple one that I got today. He didn't need to be purple, but the wings were purple, so it kind of ties it in. But anyways, yeah, it's been emotionally, mentally a
challenge.
Yeah, challenge, like to be stuck on something like this for so long. It gets weird. It's weird. Yeah, it gets weird.
So with that said, what are some of your favorites then as they kind of cycle through here that you kind of like connect with, or you continually kind of find some of your favorites as you connect all the parts up?
Yeah, that's a good question. It varies in and out. For the last like month or so, it's been 0 Year Batman, and I did a whole YouTube video just about. This is like way too long. It's like 12 minutes, and it's just about 0 Year Batman, and it's like this dude here, and it's just because I'm really into that. I think that story, that the comic book story, is really cool, and I feel like I nailed it. I mean, it's not that clever of a build, but it's like I was lucky with like the parts that are available, and just like kind of focusing on that for, it wasn't that hard to figure out. It's just like I just haven't seen very many people. I haven't seen anybody do that specific combination to make 0 Year Batman. It's been a while though, so I'd probably have a different favorite. I have one when my dad came and visited me last night. He's a pun guy, and I can't believe I didn't tap him earlier, because that's what a lot of these are. And he said, I mean, he had a bunch of bad ones, but he had one that I love that could be my favorite, depending. Cake Bat like. And it's like
That is some next level work.
Like,
Oh yeah.
There's a cake suit, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So that's I bought an overpriced cake guy here, and I'm gonna try to make him. Maybe he'll be my favorite.
You got to pull on your dad's genius, I think, a little more.
I do. Yeah, well, it's always trying the cliche, right? The Freudian or whatever, trying to outdo your dad, be better than your dad. I don't want it. My ego can't like just talk to my dad. Why can't I talk to my dad? Just talk to your dad, dude. He's your dad. I don't know.
There we go. It's really going deep here now.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, like I said, dude, it gets weird focusing on one thing. You get like this is what I'm doing instead of talking to people or going out and.
No, this is great. Obviously, the suits are kind of the focal point here, but you've got this whole cave as well, which on its own is a very impressive build. So talk about the rock work and all the different cave elements.
Yeah, well, it's really ugly. I mean, people can see that on the can. Like, I don't mean it as like a humble brag. It's like it's big, right? So the focus here was like, let's go big, because I wanted the suits to hang, so they drove the design, right? Like I wanted the suits to hang where there was no central support or structure, and we could do this. This is kind of cool, like so, like just to prove that it's dangerous. Oh look, I knocked that. Okay, let's not do that anymore. But so the rocks were kind of like the last thing I got to, and I kind of got to this. I got a system that I like where I build like a Technic. Kind of frame, and each one of these are blocks. That's why it looks real repetitive, is like each one of these are kind of cubes like Minecraft. I stack them up and connect them here so they don't pull apart, and snap these on to at least make them look like a gray blob. But like they're ugly they're the ugliest in the floor. I mean, everybody knows that, right? Like it's not like I said, it's not a humble brag. It's like they're just ugly. And so I definitely want to like slope these out and I won't probably get it as candy coated as all these awesome builds here, but this is the system I'm definitely going to use going forward in building out the giant bat cave, and just need to make it like aesthetically better. But yeah, it's built for strength and modularity, like I can just snap and change how the rocks are, and I just didn't get very far on it, and
but it still works really well, because it's supposed to be like the inside of a cave, so you don't expect a lot of like super smooth lines or things like that you would maybe expect with like a cliffside or something.
Right, I can get away with a little bit more, with rougher look, but it's the monochrome is probably the biggest problem, right? Like I got to work in some more colors, and like those candy coated mountains over there, so good. And white might not make sense in here. They don't need to look like mountains, right? Stalactite, stalagmite, that's what they need to look like. But I
was going to ask about the top part there. What is that structure like? And then obviously, as we saw with some of the internals falling out.
No need to be concerned. That's all part of the show, people. So there's this, it's Fisher Price or some not cheap, but like crappy toy that's a Batman toy. I can't remember what it is. I have it though. I bought it just to have it, and it had black rock in it, and I was like, that looks kind of good. Like what? Like I don't see a lot of people doing black rock. It's usually we're always using the grays, and that got in my head, and so it's kind of random that it's using black when we got this gray, but I wanted to just test out, like do some experiments with black rock. And so that was one thing. And the other thing is I didn't want it to be the frame, like the ugly frame that I did last year with like the Batwing. I didn't want the gray rectangle. It's blobby enough. So I'm trying to make this look like a stalagmite and that like a stalagmite. And I think I could pull it off better if there was a roof where we had stalactites in as a foreground to the black, and then the black's kind of, so it's black because it's a shadow maybe type effect. But I didn't pull it off here yet. You're right. Like it's just kind of random, and hopefully just kind of people go, look at the suits, right? Like, yeah. So.
No, but like we were talking about with the suits, I mean, it's a work in progress. You continue to add to it every year, and next year hopefully we'll see it bigger and better.
Try to do my best and get the goal I was trying to get, which was the big number, like the 128, the over 100 bat suits, and then do as good as I could on the cave. And yeah, I mean, I'm proud of it, but I just want to call out that it's kind of ugly.
Well, will you have other shows besides Bricks Cascade? You take this out. I know this is kind of one of your big shows every year.
Yeah, I mean, it's great because this is such a good show. I really like BrickCon, and it's kind of close, but like the scale that I'm playing with now, it's so painful. Like, it's ridiculous how I got this here actually, and we basically just, my wife and I grabbed either end of the black bar thing and set it down on a sleeping bag that was on top of a container and just threw it in my car, right? And like drove here. Can't do that, right? Like can't do that. Can't get to Atlanta or wherever with that kind of method. And so maybe not. Maybe this is it. Like maybe I'm just stuck in Portland and, and I'll lose a day. I could, that's a travel day there and to and fro. I could be making bat suits during that time.
That's true. I mean, that's bat suit time that you could be using.
I could be in my bedroom. I mean, in my, wherever, various places in my house making bat suits.
No, I love it. Well, I'm glad you can keep coming out to the show here. It's always fun to see what you add to it and update every year. So can't wait to come back next year and see more. Thank you.
Thanks for hanging out with me.